Welcome back. Many thanks for staying with us. Well, they are the least paid, least respected, and hardly given time for relaxation as prescribed by law. But they do what many would not do, keeping dead bodies. Mortuary workers across the country are awake to this reality, and they've served notice they will withdraw their services starting sometime next week. The Association of Mortuary Workers, in a statement, are listing multiple violations of their working conditions by the Ministry of Health. We'll be hearing from the General Secretary of the Mortuary Workers Association of Ghana shortly. But first, here is a report we put together looking at conditions in our morgues.
In Ghana, morticians learn the trade on the job. Though there have been discussions within the health ministry for several years on giving these people some form of professional training, this has not been achieved.
Starting on cleaning, and send over bodies. I send a packet bodies. I send a shade row. I send a palm body, a pie, any Sanya packing, any Mombekofi, Umutiaka, a baby of Mutre. And so a bedroom baby, I do this, a pie, a fool, a postmortem, Libya, Sana humanity. But Hayanaka, Musi, a Becon school bat, school and muscle.
So many of us have preconceived notions about morticians, but by and large, it's a misunderstood profession. Moreover, the issue of death is very complicated and more often frightening.
Mama put me can say, much for Mufafun, and I'm only from that. As we buy no, me shape that. And sometimes we to say, titi. But I say, no, I go say, yeah, by the a man and dozen. And you know, me who say, be a fat on the front of that. And this is a moment a year to crack. Umuka, but yeah, Hanu, who be a masse. Anna, the fruit share what is my tongue. Mr. Busavanka says, oh, me body. Me pay should be a coya, my mamma of here, and I don't know anybody. But say, pass a be flap on Tampa say, oh, Miss Ivo, me performs you, me pay, me pay, no, a bini house, maybe ye be sad. And I mean, who's will be a chew beer, where's Yamana, make me a bonnet this year.
Mortuaries have a long-standing reputation for being dark, creepy places populated by ghoulish individuals. In reality, mortuary assistants are just like everyone else.
I do did here. Me confirm say, we did, but you'll be any on the protection. I says, soon they are not whom they were. If you know, if you will do, know, and you know, and you know, protection there, me to me say, we will be, and I we need be. This is one cassa, and over can once say, oh, me do not be the Jumano. Want to become obedient. And see obedient so sanity. I was saying, Yakupon Eva Pantino, and Hodina Eprano. Say Yakupo say, what you say, Nipa only to me be a say, oh, to me, with my Yakupo. I say, Yakupon already to me by another SIG to me now. Only see, since I did Sebio, Mema idea, and Jacra, because you point by the end of the day, no, sent Cacao, only a much a day sent to her. And to point, and I said, we did a can of crack, and they meet to Cassa Debbie. And the first say, Biana Massam, dear, say, my dear, Memasem. Maybe what I said on Poba, and any more, if fans.
Research has indicated that
as a report we did about morticians what they do, the challenges they go through, and how they have to get through those challenges. Well, Maxwell Agbagba has been to the Pantan Hospital Mortuary and has been interacting with the General Secretary of the Mortuary Workers Union of Ghana.
I'm standing some meters away from the Pantan Mortuary. Not much of activities happening here because it is Tuesday. Some of the morticians that I've been speaking to tell me that usually on Thursdays and Fridays it gets very busy here with a lot of family members, sympathizers coming here to collect bodies of their loved ones. But today, the morticians are just sitting here, just having interactions among themselves, and what has dominated the conversation here is their conditions of service. They have set notice that they'll be going on strike next week if government does not do anything about their conditions of service. I've been speaking to the General Secretary of the Mortuary Workers Association of Ghana, and he says that it's a collective resolve to demand what is theirs.
We have raised a lot of concerns as per the release you've seen. Some of them are the fact that there are some bad labor practices within the industry that is affecting especially mortuary workers. One of them, critical one of them, is the fact that people who are working under the laws of this country are being prevented from going on their leave, annual leave, which we think is a major concern. Another one is the fact that some of them are employed through the back door. They are calling them casuals. And once you are employed casual, they keep you there for about 6 months. And they tell you reapply for a job before you realize you are 18 years in that department or that environment. Many in the whole country, if you go around, you will see. One of them is the fact that we think that we do not have enough equipment in the mortuary to work with. Because the mortuary has its own set of tools. The trollers, the Wellington boots, the protective clothing, the mask. It's a whole set of things. But they are all lacking everywhere. And they are expecting us to just work. But we are making money, you know, for the hospitals and for government. So we think that some of them are working long hours, for instance, 24 hours. He works every day. He doesn't.
Why does that happen 24 hours?
Well, it's because some people are sitting somewhere and they are dictating how many hours you should work instead of going by the laid down laws of this country.
Is it for lack of personnel? What
well, I don't want to. I think this question should be directed to those who are involved in it. Those who are involved in a certain action know why they are doing it, and they are doing it with impunity. That's our concern. I mean, the laws are clear. If those we have charged with governance decide to break the laws, what about the mortuary attendant? If he breaks the law, you fire him. For instance, he does not come to work without permission. You will fire him. But you are asking him to work 24 hours. You don't pay him any overtime. He comes to work on public holidays. You don't pay him overtime. He comes to work on weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, and night. You don't give him time to rest. What type of labor practice is this? Only in Ghana, especially in the mortuaries. I don't see other workers in the same industry doing this, having this type of labor practice. It's only the mortuaries. Because others, we know we are in the same industry with them. We know others, some go to work 3 days, night, and they have off 3 days. They go rest with their family. So why would you want to stampede on the right of mortuary workers after having to go through all this hustle of keeping your loved ones safe for you to send to the final resting place? Why would you want to decide that this is the way I would treat these workers? Is it not greed? Is it wickedness? Or is it just deliberate attempt that we don't care about other people apart from ourselves? If we have leaders who are behaving like this, then we have a long way to go.
You talked about going on strike. When is the strike?
In fact, the strike is intended to take place on Tuesday, 20th of this month, which is November 20th. If government does not proactively solve the problems that we have presented before it.
So what solutions are you looking at? What interventions are you looking at from government based on the petition?
Or what we expect to hear from the ministry tomorrow, which we have a meeting. Let me also remind you that They have sent us a letter signed by the chief director that he's been directed to invite us. Who directed, we are not too sure, but they say he's been directed to invite us to a meeting tomorrow or Wednesday. We think that letter concerning our grievances, the grievances have been put on paper for them. They know it's with them. They have custody of it for almost a year. So we know that what we expect tomorrow for short is that solutions. Anything short of solutions will not affect our strike.
So what solutions? You mentioned PPEs. You mentioned leave. You don't have leave. You work overtime. You work overtime, but you are not paid.
Exactly.
You are not paid for more than the normal hours that you're supposed to work.
Yes. Well, that's the basic problems that we are talking about.
And you talked about the tools that you work with also.
Exactly. You have gone to the mortuary yourself, right? Yeah. You've seen the tools. Are they support 21st century? Do we need those tools? The fridges, look at them, broken down all over. There are no trollers. He has to squat and then bam, the waste is all paining him. The whole thing is in the mess. The whole mortuary is looking like a dumping, abandoned latrine or something. So you think that, look, there's no leadership. We should have leaders who should know that this place should be taken care of because of people, clients are paying for it. Ghanaians are paying for everything that goes on in the mortuary. Why would somebody want to sit on the monies and not maintain the place for the client to even enjoy the services they are paying for?
Okay, so if you don't get all the things that you are demanded, what's going to happen?
We might not get all the things.
Yeah.
But I think we want a commitment from government.
If you don't get a commitment, what's going to happen?
We continue the strike unabated.
If you say strike, what exactly do you mean? Are you going to shut the mortuary doors?
We are not coming to work at all. I mean, if it is, we are not coming. I mean, if doctors go on strike, they don't come. I mean, anybody that go to, it depends. Our strike is indefinite. In fact, we are laying down our tools. So, when 2019, when we come to work, let me give you a breakdown.
Exactly.
When we come to work on the 19th, once you go home, you don't come to work the following day until you are told to come. Simple. So whatever goes on in between, the minister and I think the ministry should find a way of. And if we see even somebody coming to take the body, trouble, because the law is clear on that. Remember, we have right 10 meters away from the facility to prevent anybody to go touch the bodies. So they must do what's right. We are not asking for extraordinary. Okay. You and I know that death is the direct opposite of life. It means that we are unique in the sense that we will handle you from the point of death to final disposition. Let me give you a very practical scenario. In a normal hospital setup where people who are working with the life against those who are working with death. When you are sick and you get to the hospital number 1, you meet a nurse. That nurse is a professional. He's being paid by Ministry of Health. He tells you to go and see a medical doctor. Doctor is being paid by the same ministry on one person. You go there, they say go and see the lab technician. The lab technician is also paid. From the lab, he goes to back the doctor. He said go to X-ray. The X-ray technician is paid. You go to pharmacy. Pharmacy is paid. These are all professionals being paid working on one body or one person. Before you are cured eventually, you might have gone through about 6-7 professionals. And all these people are on salary individually. Let's go to that of death. When you die and you die at the hospital, the mortuary attendant becomes the porter. He goes to bring the body from the ward to the mortuary. He's the same person who do the cleaning of the mess that is caused by the dead people in the mortuary. The same person is in charge of embalming the body, preserving the body through the infusion of chemicals to preserve the body from temporary decay. The same person is in charge of putting the bodies into fridges. The same person is in charge of assisting autopsy. In fact, most of the autopsies, in fact, almost all autopsies in Ghana, the cutting or the dissecting and the bisecting is done by the mortuary attendants. The stitching back is done by the mortuary attendants. The medical or the pathologist's responsibility or duty is to express an opinion on the cause of death of that person. It's not the person who does the cutting. It's the state mortuary attendant who does all these things. When in case somebody dies with pregnancy somewhere where there's no pathology, of course we don't have pathologists all over, it is the mortuary attendant who have to do surgical operation to remove the unborn babies in your stomach. Because you know Africa, we don't like burying people who are pregnant together. We want to separate them. So if you want to count the work that mortuary attendant does, for me, I see 1, 2, 3 professions put together to make him a whole, one. So his work, if it is really quantified like the way people who are advanced, who are thinking, about developing this country, then his salary or his remuneration should not be compared to any other person who is working with life. It's a different environment. I told you the people are dead already. The signal those who are charged with governance is sending to all Ghanaians, and for that matter, those who die during that period, is that they should learn to bury anybody who dies within a day, or those who intend to die during that period should wait. When mortuary workers are back to work, they die. Simple. It's not me. It is those that we have put there and we are paid there with our taxpayers' money, who are supposed to take decisions in the interest of this country, who have stampeded on the right of ordinary Ghanaian workers because they don't have a mouth. They should be held responsible.
Maxwell Agbaba, they're speaking to the General Secretary of the Mortuary Workers Union there, very obviously unhappy.